So, we have a couple more games to cast from the other series. And given where I'm at with time, I will probably have to cast them a little bit faster. But it is what it is. And also, guys, this might be a little bit of a weird cast because some of these games have actually already been casted as sort of more like teaching example games. And this is just kind of going over and casting everything that hasn't been casted from this particular series. So if there appear to be missing games or whatever, it's because there are. And honestly, I haven't followed the details of that cast closely, so I don't know actually who the winners were of those games. But either way, we have, this is Team Assimilate against Team... Shoot. Stardom and the Plebs. So... forget who's on, I don't know who's on which team for these guys though. But either way, at the top corner we have Mikami, and in the bottom corner we have Fat Reaver, otherwise known as Arc Times, who is a Peruvian Protoss. And we actually did see one of their games, at least the other day. In fact, we might have even seen two of them, in which Arc Times, I believe, he may have won both of those, but we'll see. I can't remember. Either way, Arc Times is Peruvian, so that carries a certain stigma with it in terms of popular builds. Should have been Pleb in the Stardoms. Alright, so we gotta go a little faster through the early part of the game because unfortunately I do have to be somewhere in the next half hour or so, so I want to get through as much as I can. And no critical points happening right now. We have a Nexus First build here. Not Nexus First, but a like a one... No, it's a no goon expand, so it's... I forget how you even call it, but it's basically like 21 Nexus, only instead of with 3 goons at FD, 4 goons at FD timing, you'll have 3 goons at FD timing. Hot date with lab work. The unfortunate grind of engineering classes over summer school. Doing a 4-week course in, or a course that would normally be 4 credits over a semester in 4 weeks. It's awesomely time crunched, awesomely busy. Good solid, 5-6 hours of homework a night, plus 4 hours of lecture a day, plus working 30 hours a week. Not undoable, but it's hella busy, that's for sure. Alright, so command center on the way for Mikami. That's a very interesting decision. He's built the CC in base, but he didn't make a wall. Usually you only see in-base CC with a wall. Seems a little bit safe. Definitely slows his expansion down by a good 20 or 30 seconds. And honestly, I don't particularly love it. Well, he's intending to open up with just mines, huh? That's an interesting play. Still, I would have rather seen the CC at the natural, but this is a build I'm not entirely familiar with, to go with just mines. Now, it looks like Fat Reaver's somewhat wise to this, or at least a little bit nervous of this, and has gotten a nice wall up. The Vulture could possibly slip in there. It looks like he can't, but this Dragoon wanders off a little too far. Okay, Fat Reaver notices it, pulls it back, and goes immediately over here. This is going to be, if he's intending to take a third right now, or is it just a pylon wall, or a scout? I was going to say, that would be a really, really fast third base. Taking a third base off of 2 Dragoons. You better hope to God Terran isn't wanting to do anything aggressive. Oh, that's a beautifully timed SCV transfer. That is, like, so perfect. That SCV could have been sent to a further patch, but other than that, it's like the ultimate in transfer perfection. Second factory going up, and the scout goes off for Fat Reaver, so he'll be happy with that, especially since he isn't making particularly fast obs. However, given the early vultures here from Mikami, oh, and I like this. Okay, now I really like this. So I guess he saw the fast Nexus and either is hoping there wouldn't be or knew there wasn't a robo and is going to go ahead and respond with mine double expand, which is great because it's going to get him... Oh, I didn't even see that. I missed that, but... Fat Reaver making some early mistakes and moving out onto the map when he doesn't want. Vulture's trying to run by, and Speed finishing at a good time. Now he's just got to lay some mines at... Does he not have mines? No, he doesn't have enough mines, I guess. Should still be able to get some kills. Is he going to... Yeah, he's going to try to glitch the Vultures, but he's not glitching them that well right now. And a third Vulture sneaks in right now. However, a lot of Dragoons back and only gets a kill or 2 out of that, so not too bad in the end there for Arc Times. And given that he already lost the 2 Dragoons, I think Mikami is decently satisfied with the the current trades he got. Got the barracks up there, now adding more factories. This command center already done, and of course Makami's just pinned into his base. I mean, he's not going anywhere. He actually, I think he can make the Nexus though, if he wants to. He may not try, because he knows he can't get units over there until he gets his robo up, his obs out, which he really should put down the observatory. I'm sure that would be nice for him. It's got to be there, right? Yeah. Alright. I think he can put down the Nexus. I think it literally fits like right in there. SCV transferred to third base, not quite as perfect as the last one, but either way, headed up to three base economy. Got his armory, should start an upgrade there pretty soon. And will we get a third base here? Oh, I guess you could do that too, make a cannon to clear out the mines. Observer should be just about out. Goon is super hidden. That one spot on the ramp where you don't have vision of high ground or low ground. And the Dragoon is perfectly on it. There we go. He like repositions it because he doesn't like it looking like that on the map. Alright, Obs is out now. So he can go ahead and scout around. Some mines being laid by the Vultures. He knows that probe is there. Oh, he gets the Nexus down. He was like seconds away from being able to deny that. Little unfortunate. Should snipe off the probe now though. Assassin! Assassin Vultures! But they're pinned in here, so they are going to die to these Dragoons. They will lay some mines though, which will hopefully not kill any Dragoons. Fortunately not now. Is he cover? Oh, he's not covering! Vultures slipping in here for Makami, and is he going to react? The one Goon is obviously going to react. Oh, but Makami is also not paying attention to these Vultures. I don't know what he's paying attention to, but okay, now he's back to paying attention to these Vultures, and they are getting a lot of kills. In fact, they are completely cleaning up Fat Reaver's natural right now. I realized the natural wasn't insanely saturated. Tries to split them off. One Vulture doesn't quite make it, but still, that means there is only one base of mining right now as Fat Reaver not quite keeping up with these Vultures here in multiple places. Getting some more probe kills, and that is a solid 7, 8, 9, 10 probe kills or so on those Vultures. So very nice little round there for Makami, and we can see that in combination with those SCV kills and the fast third base, that Makami is pulling even in supply right now with Fat Reaver, which is not a position you want to be in if you're Fat Reaver, if you're Protoss. Even supply with Terran usually means you're not where you wanted to be in the early game. It's one thing maybe if you got some nice quick arbiters, not the end of the world, but when you're playing like this, plus it's 4 gates against like 6 factories, I don't even know, I think he has leg speed, right? He doesn't even have a Citadel. So this is looking pretty rough. I don't know if Makami's going to go for it right now, but if a push comes soon, and normally you wouldn't think of Terran being able to do that kind of push, however, with the third being that fast and the factories up that quickly, he's got a little bit of a window here right now to think about it if he chooses that sort of play. Let's make sure he did start his upgrade. Yeah, that's good. He's got his 1-0 almost done. Second armory should be on the way somewhere. I don't see it, but... And it looks like maybe he's thinking about it. No, okay, no, he's gonna pull back. Arc Times has good vision of that. Oh, these Vultures need to run away, though. Alright, so now we've got a lot of tanks coming out. Definitely needs to pull back with the Dragoons, and he is going to do so. And yes, it looks like Makami wants to be aggressive, and like I said, this is, you know, 6 factories, and Protoss only has 3 gates, 5 gates now, but leg speed is still a ways away, so if he can't slow Makami down, he is going to be in a really rough spot. He's got pure Dragoon here, which is not that great, especially against these kind of tank numbers. If in lower... Oh, he's got a shuttle for bombs, though. That can change the game a little bit. Let's see how these Vultures are microed. Maybe he's got enough with this shuttle. Dropping a few Zealots. Looks like these tanks are being targeted, fired undergrounds, but he drops. Sieges up all of the tanks too soon. And picking up... Wait, oh, he should pick the Zealots up with the shuttle, but it looks like Arc Times is going to clean up this little attack here. That shuttle adding just enough firepower to get the job done. And... I don't know, didn't quite like the positioning of the Vultures, not quite enough mines laid down for Makami before the attack, but an important hold there for Fat Reaver, who still needs to be careful because that was a relatively even trade, and remember that Terran is still on more factories than Protoss is on gateways, which means this pressure can continue, particularly if Fat Reaver oversteps at any particular moment in time. Alright, so we're getting a photon cannon. Now, are we getting more tech? So we've got a 6 gate up now. We are getting archives. Observers continue to look around the map, but I think Mikami's had too much of a scare. Doesn't really want to continue this aggression, although Protoss does not look to have macroed that well. I mean, Terran has a lot more units than Protoss right now. Terran's got like 3 tanks over there, 5 tanks, and like a group of vultures, and Protoss has that. And I guess a couple units over here, but that's, even with the shuttle of zealots, that's still not that many. He does have great vision, though, and that's one thing I like from all of the games of Arc Times I've seen. He does a great job getting observers into really smart spots, so he can really see easily when Terran is going to any particular area of the map. Alright, so a few pylons here, but the probe has been killed off here by these vultures, and Mikami is kind of playing this strange. Like, the vultures are great, but like these tanks just wandering around in the middle of the map is a little bit strange for me. I wouldn't personally recommend it. And it looks like we're entering a little bit of a lull phase here with both players building up. Oh, and he's going to just try to save it with a shuttle, but with only 1 Dragoon, I don't know if that's really sufficient to save this. I'm going to finish off that Zealot and then maybe mine the Dragoon up, yeah. Oh, okay. Nice little pick. Oh! Okay. It's like a tie. Funny little shuttle fight there. Alright, so Arc going up to 8 gateways. One thing I will admit I am not a huge fan of is this gateway layout. This is really tedious to macro from. It's like click, click, change the screen, click, 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 change the screen, click, 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 click. Not... Could be a little bit more compacted, and all of a sudden we have a pretty large army from Mikami. Look at the difference in supply right now. 30 supply, 20 supply ahead for Mikami right now, and where are the slots? There are no slots with this army, and this is too many tanks and far too many vultures to handle without a bigger army, and position looking really rough right now for Arc Times. He's trying to set up for a flank here. He's got a few more zealots in there than I initially thought, but it's still only 4 or 5, and this is like so many Dragoons. I'm worried that he has 2 Dragoon heavy. Now the setup here, well, I guess coming in from this side, the setup from Mikami isn't too bad. There could be a few more mines. Can he get a good storm off? That would help a lot. And the first storm is good. The second storm is good. Should kill the... Oh, no, he laid them too close to each other. But it's just way too many Dragoons, especially with the vultures there to buffer in front, annihilating the army of Fat Reaver straight into GG. But I will admit that, I will say that in the other 2 games we saw, Fat Reaver won, so that was a 2-1 victory for Fat Reaver in that series. So now we go into Probua versus, I just saw the player and it just slipped away, versus Snowfruit. So we have Probua as the yellow Protoss at the top, which you can probably guess from his name, and Snowfruit as the teal Zerg in the bottom on Destination. So probably we should see an overpool opening. It's most common on Destination given the easy scouting, but it looks like he is going to opt to go for a 12 hat. So this hat, okay, no, he's going to overpool. Alright, so we get the pool down. And in the meantime, Protoss getting a forge that is, I guess that's what he's going for. I guess that works. No, that's not tight wall. Forge has to be below the gateway. Doesn't work. So not the greatest wall. Destination though, in fact that's a, okay, sorry, that's a really bad wall. Destination's a hard map to wall on if you haven't looked up the walls, but this is like, I don't know what this is. This is like, please just make lings and all in me. I mean, he's got 3 probes, but he's not even close to being able to block with 3 probes. Like, this is, the cannon's not protected. It's unfortunate that Snowfruit is not ling all inning, because absolutely, Probua would just die. Like, I don't even know if Bisu could really survive in this particular position with this wall. Unless you had a pylon and you could slap like a panicked forge down here and then try to block, but oh well, don't wall like that, please. I'm trying to remember how the wall actually goes. I think you can do something with a forge and a gateway. There's a few spawn, or maybe a forge here and gateway there. There's a few ways you can do it. You can't do anything perfect, but especially with the open side of the wall being like a direct access to the ramp. Sorry, bad walls are like sticking point. And we have, oh, he mined out the ramp, which was totally unnecessary with that wall, but he's got a few lings inside the base. Corsair's out right now. And Overlord going to get harassed. We got 3 base. Oh, what is this? What is this I see? Harem's with me on the 2. He's like, what is Protoss doing? Wooling a bit of a fine art, but yeah. All right, I'll stop bashing Probo for the wall. I mean, it's possible. If you haven't played Destination and it's your first time seeing it, you know, you will probably not come up with the greatest of walls. Bottom spot's a little easier to wall. You can do pylon here, forge, gateway, and then cannon here, or cannon like here and there, and then this cannon actually covers your gas. The other tricky thing too that this wall is bad is, yeah, he probably notices it now, but if you make 6 lings, denial all day long. So he's adding a bunch of cannons in his mineral line, which is interesting. Oh, he's actually going for lurkers. But, you know, if he's thinking Hydra bust, adding cannons in the mineral line is not what you want to do. Alright, so Hydras are out. He's committing to this. Overcommittal. Loses a Corsair for nothing, does Probua. Up +1 done here. Leg speed should be pretty close, although that is a very slow timing, so I don't think it's really intended to be any serious sort of timing. And we can see lurkers are actually going to be more or less done by the time leg speed arrived. And of course, if he was intending to attack with leg speed, he's not even moved out at the right time. And now Proboa is going to move down across the map, going to add a few more gateways. He's going to try to pressure. Oh, he doesn't have these finished. Doesn't have these morphed. Uh-oh. Oh, he's got lurkers. Okay, it's alright. He's going to pick off a few drones and then leave, I think. What the... Okay, he's going to deny... I guess that's... Cancel it. Please cancel it. Please cancel the... Why? Okay, he has a loss of 300 minerals. So, this attack is suddenly becoming worth it. Snowfruit is not dealing with this very well at all. He's like just like suiciding drones into this, and everything is even going to get out. So this, what looked like a horrible attack from Probua, unfortunately largely through the errors of Snowfruit, turns into a very successful maneuver here as Probua kills about 8 drones, kills the hatchery. And I think Snowfruit was just a little too worried about those lurkers and trying to burrow them in the right spots and not lose them, that he unfortunately allowed that attack to do a lot more damage than it should have. He almost had the units trapped and just dead. Like, especially with this not mined out, I probably just would have let the army hang out down here and burrowed a few lurkers up there and say, hey, it's never getting out, and then just go kill it at your leisure. So we got, what, 3 Templar, Archon, and 1 Dragoon, which is not a very strong anti-lurker army. Still 1 Ling in the base that he could scout with. He probably sees it, because otherwise he had vision here. We can see Probua taking a 3rd base, getting his Dragoon range upgrade. We should have some more Dragoons popping out right now from the gateways. Although only one of them is macro. Oh, he doesn't have very many minerals. Okay, there we go. Now we're getting some more Dragoons going on. He's going to keep the 3rd base from going down over, 4th base from going down over here. And, oh, those look like Slowdras. Alright, so burrowing. Oh, beautiful catch from Snowfruit. Oh no, all the Templar. Oh, he does get a lot of Lings killed, but hey, that is still totally great for Snowfruit. Getting all 3 of the Templar. For a second, I was worried that Probo was going to continue to run his entire army into that. Still no obs with this army either, so he's got to be a little bit careful running this around. I mean, he can walk in here for half a second, but he's got to leave. What? Snowfruit is probably not going to go AFK again, so I don't know what Probo is doing here, and he realizes, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing this, and does back off. And especially because if you lose the army too quick, he could easily just send a lurker or 2 up here and deny the space for a little bit, although an obs is out now, I do believe. Yes, there is an obs. I'm assuming that's a reference, Alan Darity, to a certain conversation about IC Cup that was happening on Team Liquid. Some certain comments I saw about how anyone can get to a certain rank. Either way. Large force from Snowfruit here, moving out. Not going to be able to deny the space, though, as now Protoss has a much nicer composition for fighting this army. Has a mix of Dragoons in there, has some slots in there, and the army from Snowfruit can't really fight it head-on right now. Although he's starting to get quite a few lurkers in there, which will definitely change the ability of this composition. And then the question is, how does Snowfruit want to play this game? He's kind of got two options at this point. He can either try for a big attack, surround Protoss, and sort of contain him at the bridges and kill the third, or he can sort of set up a defensive position on his side of the map at the bridges, try to not let Protoss across, but he needs to deal with this attack first, and go for Hive. But we'll see. Proboa is moving in here with a pretty large army, quickly busting down the initial part of the base, and now it's going to be a question of, can Snowfruit get a good surround on this army and not eat too many storms? Although, actually, where are all the High Templar? There's only one in here. There's only one storm. He's going to pick it off, and then the lurkers could come in. Oh, he's not going to pick it off. So he'll get another storm in a little bit. Where are the lurkers? Oh, Jesus. He has forgotten a control group of lurkers. Although that's a lot of dragoons. I don't think he can just run in there with lurkers anyway, so he's going to lose all of these hatcheries. Ling's popping at a pretty good time, though. That might allow these lurkers to clean this up. A few of them starting to burrow. Can he get a good enough spread? It looks like it. There should be a storm on this Templar now, though, and he gets off a pretty good one. Is the obs still there? No, where's the obs? I guess that's going to allow... Oh, there we go. There's the obs. But loses a ton of lurkers in the process. Oh, he can actually split the Scourge, kill the obs. Although maybe the Lings are just going to clean this up. Zealots are now trapped back here. But the damage is dealt. Snowfruit will clean this up, but he unfortunately has lost everything at both of those bases. And now I think his only real option, although the one saving grace, is that the macro from Proboa during that attack doesn't look like it was that good. Although, I say that, but his minerals are low. So I don't really know what went on there. Maybe he just reinforced a little bit and also lost the reinforcements. But he doesn't seem to have much. Either that or he was just macroing Templar during the attack. Most of the time when you're attacking, you want to macro Zealots because they're the fastest to build and they reinforce the quickest. And it's usually the Zealots that are getting donated in the fighting. So it may have been that he just macroed Templar, which take longer to build. So he needs to be careful now, a little bit, Proboa does. He's in a great position. He's done a lot of damage to Snowfruit, who is reeling from that last attack. However, his force is really small, and he's still kind of at this position where if Snowfruit surrounded him, and there's no Templar over here, so if he surrounded him, got a kill on the army, blocked the bridges, he could go take out the third base and be right back in it. You know, a 2-base Protoss mining out against a Zerg that is back on 3 bases is totally fine. So, but now his army's starting to grow a little bit, and it's not going to be quite so easy for Snowfruit. Like, when I saw all this stuff, although actually there's no lurkers in there with that. Never mind. This army's not that dangerous. I thought that was like a Hydra lurk army, which would have been problematic, but pure Lings, it's looking a little tough for Snowfruit right now. He's going to need some drops, or just wait till much later and really get off a good flank right now. But as long as Proboa doesn't let Snowfruit just take a bunch of free expansions and doesn't donate his army, Proboa is going to be in control of this game indefinitely. Although we do have Hive Tech out. And upgrades 1-1, 2-0 here, so still favorable Zealots. It's going to make the Zealots really strong against the Lings. How close is he to his next upgrade? A long ways away. A couple idle drones there in the main. Probably mine out the minerals to get away from that Zealot attack. Or attack. Now all of a sudden a large army. And this is the kind of flank you want, but I think it's just too many Lings, and the storms are good. Army coming in a little too much at once. No Dark Swarm. That was the kind of attack you wanted. It just wasn't a big enough army with good enough upgrades to make it work. And now, having given away those Lings, we're going to have another attack by Proboa here into this third base of Snowfruit. And again, there's just very limited defense here and not enough units, no sign of a Defiler. So there's no way for him to defend this base unless he is sniping obs that I don't know about. Although I don't see an obs with this army, but I also don't see any lurk. Well, there's a few being made. Where are the obs? He needs to be a little bit careful. Oh, there's the obs. Okay, he's got obs. Never mind. Alright, so Snowfruit, is he going to move around and counter? I mean, he still would have that as an option, because if you look at this... Oh, he just has everything rallied into his main. Either way, if he counterattacked at the third, it'd be an option. Oh, however, now he's got a different issue to worry about. Having mined that out. He's trying to block this in, and okay, there we go. He's moving on top of him. Going in, trying to get a Templar, doesn't even get the Templar though, unfortunately. And now these Zealots being reinforced down. 2-0 here. Not continuing to upgrade though, so that's going to be it on upgrades. So we'll be able to catch back up in upgrades, but will it matter? Because Proboa now is in an incredibly strong position, and there just aren't very many units out, and it looks like that is it for Snowfruit. So, game 2 between Proboa and Snowfruit, and I guess that means game 3 was already casted. So we'll see what happens on this map. Unfortunately, that was one of those games that just started rough, and more because of that than anything else, continued to get rough. I mean, Snowfruit had some good moments, but that first attack with the 5 Zealots and Dragoon was just too damaging. So now we go into the other super standard macro map in the map pool, Circuit Breaker. And of course, on the right side, as the brown Zerg, as the orange Zerg, we have Snowfruit, and the left side is the brown Terran, brown Protoss. We have Proboa. Looks like we're gonna have third hatch, third base here. And when I say third base, I mean third hatch at a adjacent main, or are we gonna take a close main? No, I think he's already got. Yeah, he's getting gas. Taking the hatch. Much better wall. Obviously, it's a more logical map to wall on, but much better wall. And if you want to make it tighter, you could probably even do something with a core at the wall if you really needed to. Put the pylon back here, core there. Few lings coming now across the map. Zealot on the way out, getting his cybernetics core. Just looks like the timing on that is about right. Maybe ever so slightly slow. Stargate? Stargate? Oh, where's his tech structure? What the fuck? Why the hell is there a cannon here? He's not. What the? Why did he make a cannon? He doesn't even have a tech building. Okay, I don't know what Probo is doing right now. He's got like gas and he's got a core, but he's not teching. Is he making a Dragoon? He is at least making a Dragoon. He's adding cannons to his mineral lines like crazy. Obviously, it's going to be lurkers here from Snowfruit. I cannot figure out what he is doing. What the? What? Does he think it's like Muta and he's just terrified? Is he terrified of draw play? It looks like plenty of lings out here from Snowfruit, but I'm too mystified by what Proboa's plan is. I'm trying to figure out what he's intending to do, but he's still not teching. Finally. No, he's still not teching. Is he just going to mass Dragoons now? Seeing a Hydra Den? Three-hatch Lurker with Evo Chamber. Okay, he's going to go for Reavers? And Obs? Dragoon Ob? Dragoon Reaver Ob? I don't know. I don't think he could have been that worried about slow lurker drops, and he should know the timing of slow lurker drops couldn't be anywhere near that fast. Like, he built so many cannons so fast, and if you're worried about slow lurker drops, I think rather than building cannons where you can still lose your probe line, I'd rather just build Corsairs and try to like keep them out. Maybe add a cannon a little bit later as you need, but at least get your tech timing good, rather than spend on a bunch of cannons super fast and really delay your tech. Gas going up, hatchery. So now going to 5 hatches for Snowfruit. Seems to be his popular playstyle. Seems to like this 3-hatch lurker for safety, and then go ahead and go on up to 5 hatches, and then you've got your tech out. It'd be interesting to see how he handles it against heavy Corsair play. Maybe he just puts down a spore at both nats. But obviously if you go lurkers that fast, you're not going to have Hydra speed or range, which makes them pretty crappy defense. And you're probably not looking to make mass Hydra either with that, so I'm guessing he spores up if it's more of a dedicated Corsair play. And of course, taking that back base now, getting a Spire up, which you do need. Don't want to have to deal with drops all game long without Scourge. Alright, Ling's running in, just checking, seeing Protoss has a lot of Dragoons, and now adding in some High Templar, getting that next round of gateways, continuing to add Photon Cannons. And he is getting Overlord speed. Did he get drops? I don't think so. And now Protoss is going to move out across the map with a small force. Looks like 6 Dragoons and some Zealots. Do we have leg speed for said Zealots? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. droning up that 4th base now and adding a whole shitload of creep colonies to the front. Obviously doesn't want to have the same thing happen as last time. Does make for a very strong position, makes it almost impossible to come across the bridges, but the problem for Snowfruit is he's getting attacked at his natural. Nice target firing of the lurker here, and now the whole army is going to run in, and this is basically Proboa trying to do pure muscle against Snowfruit, who doesn't have any more lurkers. Now, if he's got a lurker coming, he's picked out... Oh, there's actually still knobs in the background. And there are enough Dragoons to bust in right now, but there are not reinforcements across the map. So, if Snowfruit's making units decently, he should clean this up fairly soon with relatively minimal damage. He'd like a few more units here to pop out to save his drones. And there comes some more lurkers, although they need to get in position. Dragoons trying to pick off... they're fighting the Lings, so this is going to be not too much more damage, and this is held okay by Snowfruit. Now, I will say, had there been reinforcements, that would have been a hell of a lot scarier. If 6 Zealots had come running across there, arriving before those lurkers, then everything would have started dying really fast, and he would have had enough Dragoons that he probably could have just kited back from the lurkers and done a ton of damage. So a little bit of a mistake there from Proboa not to be, again, that's one thing I'm noticing from Proboa's PvZ, which overall looks reasonable at this level, but he doesn't seem to make Zealots very often during fights and reinforce with them, and I think his attacks would be quite a bit stronger with those reinforcements. So coming down here, a lot of Lings though. See if he pulls these Zealots back or if they just die, or is he just going to throw a storm down? There we go, pulling him back nicely. Needs to be careful of those Templar! There we go, looks like he's going to get a snipe on 1. Can he get 2? No, 1, just going to make it 1 and got to run away. Going to try for the... Nope. So, 3rd base coming up here for Proboa. Still scouting over here, but look at the position of Snowfruit right now. Very comfortable. You can see he has almost matched Proboa in supply, and he's got a bunch of drones in his 4th base. Needs to send a few of them to mine, but he's got them. He's adding hatcheries. He's got almost 10 hatcheries now. He's got a solid 50 drones compared to... Wow, that's rough. I did not realize that. Proboa has not been keeping up with his namesake whatsoever, as he's only at 32 probes. Not a good position against a Zerg that is on 50 drones. So I have a feeling that unless Proboa manages to do something drastic here in the next minute or two, he is just going to be staring down unlimited waves of Zerg that just never end and slowly fades into the night. Consumed by the swarm. Siderize. Okay, he's free at last. Doing the awkward dance. Awkward pathing dance. Hive on the way. Probe Noah. I like it. Probe Noah. Probe Noah. Which sounds kind of like Nanoa? Probe Noah? I don't know. Alright, 10 gates though. 10 gates off 34 probes. No way. Like that's like insurance gateways. If his macro is bad now, if he accumulates minerals, it's gotta be bad macro. It's definitely not a case of hitting macro cycles and not having, I guess, wait enough gateways. Alright, so transfer over to the 3rd base. He still hasn't added any probes. How thin are these bases? Yeah, these are like Zerg bases, they look like. You know, it's pretty common for Zerg to have 9 or 10 drones per base. Well, Proboa has like 9 or 10 probes per base. He's barely at saturation at each base, barely at one probe per patch at each base, when saturation is much closer to 3. Like the difference, there's a huge difference between 1 probe and 2 probes mining, but now we're going to have an engagement in the middle of the map, and Snowfruit is really badly positioned. If these storms go off, holy shit. Okay, he sort of gets out of there, but that was like seconds away from being absolutely disastrous. But there's a lot of Zerg units, and even with some really strong storms, Proboa loses a very large chunk of his army. Had Snowfruit been ready for that and spread a little bit, that could have been way worse. And honestly though, had Proboa been ready for that and stormed a little faster, that could have been way worse for Snowfruit too. But Snowfruit has this huge economy behind it, so to lose 2.5 control groups, you know, for half of Protoss's army, like, honestly, Snowfruit's probably freaked out about it right now, but that was a fine trade. You know, he's probably thinking, oh shit, I just lost most of my army. But, like, look at this. He's defended as hell here. He just makes a lurker too he can hold on. You know, I guess he could get attacked here, but, like, his unit spam, especially now that he's got Hive, and especially now that he's got Adrenal, he's rocking 2 Carapace. Protoss has just 2 attacks, so he's fine there. You know, everything's looking great for Snowfruit right now. He's up to actually 60 drones right now, so he's just Huge economy. Probo has added a probe or two, but still doesn't have very many. Sending some units over towards the top left. I don't know what they're doing over here. Probably looking for a base, but I don't think you need to send an entire group of Hydra over there to look for a base. Either that or they're going to do some cool counterattack later on when Probo moves across the map to attack here. Then he'll just send this group down and deny the living daylights out of that base. Fortunately, nice. I like this though. Nice scouting at all the bases, looking for hidden bases. Oh, one lurker on the map. It'd be cool if it was a Templar assassination lurker. However, there's an obs with the army, so you know, scary composition though. If there were three or four more High Templar, this would be like such a terrifying composition from Proboa. Like, I'm honestly kind of surprised at this composition. This looks like a 4 or 5 gas Protoss composition. We'll see what he can do with it, though. He doesn't have many storms, and oh, this is dangerous, though. He has walked across the bridges, and if there's just another swarm or two, and he's just charging into these lurkers under swarm, needs a few more units, but this has got to back up. He can't do any damage to this. But had there been units like in position to flank or whatever, that was a dangerous move there from Proboa to walk in there over the bridges like that. You know, I don't think he exactly knew what Zerg has out on the map, and that army could have been just totally pinned in against Dark Swarm. Snowfruit is getting a lot of money, but then again, he's got a lot of drones. Oh, and there it is. Okay, so he did do this. I like this then. I was a little bit like, okay, why hide units there? But he's going to make it pan out, I think, although he needs to stop attacking pylons and go get the cannons and or the Nexus. But I think Protoss is here in time. Morph 2 lurkers on the ramp. Morph 2 lurkers on the ramp. He's targeting it down. Is there a storm? He needs a storm probably to stop the Nexus from being killed, and there's not a storm. Oh, it is so close. It's gonna live though. By the skin of its teeth, he saves the Nexus. He'll probably come back for it later though. It's gonna have to be defended so closely with the health it's on. Oh, I really thought he was gonna need a storm to make that live, but somehow the Dragoons did just enough damage. But now look at this. Snowfruit is over here. A bunch of lurkers. He's got lings. If he throws up some swarms and starts to move in here, spamming lings from all of his hat. I don't know why he's making mutas, but alright. I feel like he should just kind of ling spam this now. He looks like he wants to move forward, maybe? Maybe. What's he doing? Everything is just kind of chilling. Alright, he's sending some stuff in. There are no storms here, though. He needs to throw up the Dark Swarms, and then he can start to eat away at these Dragoons super easily. And oh, the Archons are not going into the best of spots here. Archons have a little bit of power, but they're not very good against Lurkers under Dark Swarm, and it looks like he's throwing away his Archons a little bit needlessly. They do kill Lurkers pretty fast, but they also die pretty fast to Lurkers. And he will clean them up. They are all alive, but some of them are significantly softened up. Fight again. What I'm noticing is it seems like a lot of times Snowfruit kind of has everything ready. It's in good position, but he's just ever so slightly slow to actually react. Oh, actually, holy shit, I love this. Oh my god, if this is why he did this, this is beautiful. Please tell me that's what the muter are for. I guess he can also do it with a drop, but honestly, that is a low enough Nexus that muta sniping it totally makes sense. Ooh, double drop, double drop, double drop. Snowfruit doing some cool stuff right now. Here we go. Oh, no, he turns away, he turns away. He's got a nice dummy Overlord in front, too, with nothing in it. Oh, he's just gonna unload it. Okay. I would rather he dropped on the cannons. I think that would be stronger, especially since Protoss has... Okay, Protoss suddenly has Templar. He's gonna force a runaway from this base, but everything is gonna get stormed and die, along with his own Zealots. Now the Overlords need to run away, although possibly doing that is just a little bit of a distraction for what is about to happen. Oh, I thought for sure he was going to make these Muto to assassinate the Nexus once he flew him up here. But now I don't know, and it looks like he's given up the idea of actually trying to drop, which I still think is better. But if he just throws a swarm up on this Nexus and right-clicks it, it's dead. I wish he'd do it, though. He's giving Proboa too much time. He's giving Protoss too much time. Alright, and again, this is another little army here from Snowfruit that is getting caught out in the middle of the map. Storm goes down, hits a muta, and Proboa is kind of, Snowfruit is kind of surprising me here. I really thought he was going to run Proboa over, but it seems like he's having a little bit of time dealing with the army right now from Proboa. And I think the other thing is he may not have realized how strong of a position he was in economically, and so he's playing a little bit more of a traditional late game Zerg, just kind of trying to run around, snipe Protoss bases, that kind of stuff, when I think there was a point in that game with his ridiculous economy he could have just basically spammed units and muscled down Probua. So now it's just he needs to be careful and not let Probua establish at the top base. And he's getting a plague off here. A lot of lurkers running in, and they're clumped as shit, but there's no storm. Well, actually there are storms. Oh god. Okay, this is... Ah, Snowfruit! Snowfruit, please! Please get more units here. Okay, so the lurker's unfortunately taking a long time to burrow, and it's going to allow Probua to take a pretty nice victory in that fight. Alright, but Crackling's flooding in. He's not picking off the Templar, but he might pick off the army because now all of a sudden there's Zerg coming from all sides. This is the unit spam I was talking about. It just needs to actually burrow and stop being rallied and set into the middle on move command. And so again, instead of attacking when the army was all clustered up or all spread out, it's now going to be a nice attack from Probua, but he's overstaying his welcome, and Cracklings clean up Dragoon Templar like nobody's business. And it looks like Probua losing his army to Snowfruit, feeling a little too confident after he killed off that group of lurkers. And can you imagine if Snowfruit actually burrowed his lurkers, the damage that would get done on a regular basis? And Probua will hold on here, but I think Snowfruit's starting to realize now that he can start to spam units. And I still think he can at this point. Protoss just doesn't have the economy to deal with this, and he does have the third gas now, but he's still only got 3 gas, and he's going to be bleeding dry if he's not already dry at these bases. Yeah, very close to being dry at both bases. And yeah, it just has these weights. Oh man, he's got so much money. He's got a lot of units. Make an Ultra Den. Just spam Ultras at this. Like, win one of those fights, and then spam like a bunch of Ultras and just run them over. Few Guardians here. Okay, that's one way to get rid of a Nexus, especially since he doesn't really have enough gas to have a bunch of Templar at every expansion. And this will actually allow him to... This is a really nice place to morph these Guardians. You can just hit both bases nicely, and this is a large army. If he spreads this out nicely, especially if he brought stuff in from all sides, this could be really dangerous. And here we go. We're going to have a fight in the middle. This is way too small. I don't know what Probua is doing here with this army. I think he's getting into this panic mode where he just doesn't have enough units. He's trying to gather up his zealots, but he's got Zerg forces coming in from all sides, and Zerg, of course, way better upgrades right now than Protoss, who has upgraded only his attack, meaning these Cracklings are doing unbelievable damage right now. They are incredibly strong units. Probably one of the reasons we saw the army get cleaned up in the middle. There we go. Picking off a few Templar. Can he get the last one? Yes, he can. Can he get the Archon? Probably not. Alright, so now Guardians starting to do some damage to these bases in the top. More Guardians, looks like about to be more Meta flying into place. And definitely going to shut down the 5th base here of Probua, and I think he'll kill this off fairly soon, which will be the end of gas, because this will now be depleted, I think. Yes, it will. So that is about to be the end of Protoss's gas. And will he move in? Yes, he's now going to move in and go for the Nexus. The Guardians are moving in, and it's looking difficult right now for Probua, who does not seem to have defense. He's got like only Zealots running around. That's because his gas is all depleted. And without Templar, without gas units, you're really in trouble against the Hive Zerg. And that is, he's got a 2/3 of a Geyser right now, if I remember mining rates correctly. 2/3 of a Geyser to work with. He's going for one counterattack here, and it is doing a lot of damage at this base. But, is this base that important? It's a mineral-only base. There's a shit ton of lurkers here. They should probably burrow before they all get stormed, but still, there's no way he can break this. He's going in, he's charging in with Zealots against pure lurkers. Storm's going up. If he has enough storms and can storm all the lurkers, maybe the army could bust in here, but it is evaporating because lurkers are ridiculous against clump Zealots. The Archon's dying as well. Will any of them make it out? Will they try to assassinate this Defiler? No, they just gotta run. Oh, he's trapped. He knows it. He knows it. Everything picked off. Everything in tatters. Snowfruit looking like he is gonna take this game. In fact, when I say looking like he's gonna take this game, he has taken this game, and we are just waiting for Probua to accept it. That's the most random Corsair of all time. You have no gas and you make one late game Corsair. Alright, so it's another battle. He forces a mini cancel at this third. Ling's being spammed in. Look at Zerg's bank though. It doesn't matter. He's trying to get a Nexus. Units are being spammed. GG is uttered as the first Ultra finally appears. And I don't know who won game 3. So, I can't tell you who won that series. I do not remember from last time. Alright, so unfortunately guys, I'm going to have to go through these games pretty fast because I'm already well behind schedule. So I hope you guys, and I'm sorry for the people whose games I got to last. I might even go back and cast them regularly later, but we're going to have to go through these reps at like 4x speed. So I apologize in advance for the bastardation. Oh, okay, we might have to slow this down. Oh, but it's scouted. Oh shit. Okay, so this was a forward 8 racks attempt, but scouted by Zerg. And did Zerg go for a pool first? No, he did not. So, still dangerous. Oh, he actually... Oh, he did go for a pool first. Never mind. Did he? Or did he change his mind? I feel like Ling should be out. I think he might have changed his mind. Double bunker. Double bunker from Sequence here against Genji. And of course, with one bunker already marined up, he can only go around him. I think is his only option here. Can he pick off this marine? No! Good save. So the hatch for sure is dead, so it's just a question of can he do damage outside the base? And that is oh, probably not. This looks pretty bad. This looks pretty bad for Mr. Genji, who is 100% going to lose his hatchery. And with these 2 SCVs here to repair, yeah, there's no damage that's going to happen. So situation looks absolutely terrible right now for Genji, who tries to put down a hatchery. It's not an... Oh, that's a creep colony on the last little bit of creep. I guess you gotta give him credit for trying, and now he wants to go for the kill. Sunken is up. Oh! Oh! Is this a possible mistake? Bunkers are gonna die. I honestly wish he wouldn't attack the bunker, but maybe he's worried that more Marines could walk in. Now he's gonna hold the ramp. Can he do it? Yes, he can. He's got 2 SCVs there, so that's gonna be just fine. A lot of damage has been dealt. We can see SCVs a little bit more, although Sequence didn't do the greatest job building SCVs during that. He's only got 15, obviously 8 racks, slightly hurting your SCV count to begin with, but... Oh, we got some medics out. Alright, so we're gonna have 1 base push. Yeah, and how do you defend this? Make Sunken with all your economy? He's got a few Lings out. He is going for his lair. He's actually managed to get a okay economy, but he's dealing with this large Marine medic force. Oh, running in here with these Lings, not what he wants to do. Really would like to keep them alive, but Sequence is not ready to move out yet. He is very nervous that Zerg has a lot of Lings out on the map. Adding a few more Sunkens in, will it be enough? There are 4 medics here and a decent number of Marines. Ramp well blocked, good decision making, good attempt by Genji, but Sequence well prepared now. Can he micro this? Gotta send in the medics first if you really want to make that, and he doesn't have the confidence to try. I think he could have easily busted. Okay, maybe easily is the wrong word, but doesn't want to give it a go, so this is gonna gradually evolve into an actual game. Getting up that barracks and some Lings trying to run in, but defense is good. And look at this though, this is the other reason why this is going to get interesting, because he did not expand. He went for the pressure, and he definitely slowed the economy, but now Zerg's got 3 bases. Zerg's got a Spire. Oh, he's faking Muta, or is the Muta over here? No, he's faking Muta. Or he's waiting to make Muta. Okay. I guess he just didn't have enough gas or minerals to make them at the right time. So now Mutaliska's on the way. Okay. That is a shitload of Marine medic though. Getting a little bit of damage done, but also losing a lot of Mutalisks here, flying over all of these Marines. That's, what, 3 groups probably? Alright, so across the map he goes. He's going to Hive. A pretty nice tech pattern here from Genji. Looking alright at this point. No turrets, so Muta able to come back and do some damage. Alright, scan goes down. That's going to end doing damage over there. Hatchery going up at the 3rd base. And he's got a factory done. Adding on a starport. Muta just kind of now intermittently doing a little bit of harass, but he's forcing Sequence to stay back at home, and I'm really surprised to see Sequence isn't moving out on the map. Oh, he's out on the map, though, at a pretty good time. Muta could fly back in and do damage, though, as he has not left anything. Lurkers are going to go home and defend. With all those Sunkens, that will certainly be almost impossible to break unless you really had some good micro, and I would be kind of surprised to see that level of micro from a D or C rank Terran. Splitting off, he's going to find the third base here. Muta continuing to just sit there. Any chance of a greater spire? No. So they are just kind of there. Oh shit! Oh wow. Nope. Had there been 3, but it's all for naught. And that is a huge sacrifice, and I guess a little too much for Sequence to take as he suicides all of his army into the lurkers at the ramp. I thought it was risky going up that ramp. Usually you can't even break 2 lurkers. Had there been a 3rd, it would have been disastrous. So Sequence manages to, like, a little bit, maybe not completely, but a little bit, snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Somehow having 2 bunkers at the natural with Marines fully garrisoned and lose. So now we have, in the top position as the Teal Terran, we have Stardom EMG, and as the Blue Terran at the bottom, we have Diarrhea Terran. Stardom asking to do practice with Dazed. As we set up, we got a barracks here from Stardom and a gas. I mean, that's TVT. We're probably not going to see anything different. Yeah, it was a nice win from Genji. I mean, he made some nice plays. Like, it's not like he won because Sequence was bad or anything. But I do feel like Sequence made some choices that didn't pan out, namely trying to attack the not the game ender. I mean, trying to attack into the main and go for the kill against the Sunken, because there was no way Zerg was ever getting out of his base with those 2 garrison bunkers and 2 SCVs to repair. And he already had 2 Marines home to defend. Oh, we're gonna have a Wraith play here from Diarrhea Terran. Picking off some SCVs. Tanks are not the best defense. We probably just had everything on one hotkey and sent it across. And in response, Stardom is going to go attack. Which, although that's 2-port Wraith. There are Goliaths on the way. Wraiths are attacking that. Is he getting... Oh, whoa! Oh, okay, there's not a wall. That's a little bit scarier. Could be some serious damage to the SCVs coming up. Is he getting Cloak? I don't know. Oh, yes, he's definitely getting Cloak. So he's trying to deny turrets at the natural is Diarrhea Terran, but in the meantime, Stardom, although Stardom is just attacking factories, this is almost a mistake, I think, to try to pull these SCVs. Like, he wasn't killing SCVs. He could have just let the Wraiths work on him, but he doesn't get that many SCVs in the end. And now the Wraiths from Diarrhea Terran are getting chased away. Stardom is going to go ahead and hold on. And has scared the army. What are we looking at? 19 SCVs from Diarrhea Terran, but only 16 from Stardom as the Wraiths continue to do damage, but oh, they just overstay their welcome as the turret finishes right when Stardom didn't expect it to, and all the Goliaths on top of them. So that is probably going to be the end of Wraith production for Diarrhea Terran for the time being, and we can see that it is indeed. Still a Wraith or 2 out on the map, but realistically now the Wraiths aren't going to do much, and now Stardom with the Goliaths is trying to push across, but he cannot get across with 2 tanks there. No way. Of course, the expansion for Stardom is way quicker, which is going to allow him to continue to saturate up. We can see him now overtaking in SCV count. Diarrhea Terran getting his scanners up just now. Wraiths continuing to be annoying at the armory. And 2 tanks here, but Stardom has this, or Diarrhea Terran has this nicely positioned tank on the cliff. And swinging around to the left-hand side, not sure why. Oh, we got a nice little drop here from Diarrhea Terran in the back. And so Stardom going to try to just bust in here? This is a bad idea. You should know that you can't do that in Destination. Stardom is another one of the league's kind of low APM but smart build players. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. If he spots with a dropship, that's never going to work. So Stardom is kind of falling apart right now, I feel like. Trying to suicide over the bridges a little bit, taking a lot of damage, not finding a good way to handle this at all, but there we go. That's a better way of handling it. Bringing some vultures around, unable to de-siege the tank, unsiege the tank in time. And we can see that economically, Diarrhea Terran's in a pretty good spot. Stardom has 1-0 on his upgrades. Diarrhea Terran doesn't have any upgrades. And this could be risky if Diarrhea Terran doesn't pull it off. This is definitely a mistake, and it is looking like a mistake. Oh, actually, Stardom though walks his Goliaths into Diarrhea Terran, which might allow him to break this contain before it gets serious. And it is important to do that on Destination, because once you're contained behind your bridges, unless you can pull off some drop miracles, it's not good. Oh, beautiful Wraith coming in there to pick off that last little bit of the tank, and oh, that is so annoying for Stardom. because he has not made a Goliath. So this tank is dead. This one, he can probably find an angle to shoot at it. So finding his way out across the bridges. Yeah, he's going to be able to get that tank, and he has gone ahead and broken out. So Diarrhea Terran fighting his way back in. A lot of vultures coming in now, laying mines. Tanks retreating. And mine going off, finishing off that tank. But nice defensive position here from Diarrhea Terran. But does Stardom have enough? Stardom really trying to force the issue, and the vultures doing some beautiful damage here. But this high ground tank for Diarrhea Terran, keeping him in it. And Stardom, though, through all that attacking, Diarrhea Terran forced to pull SCVs. Stardom left free at home to macro, is able to kind of catch up that 10-15 SCV difference in economy that we saw earlier. Dropship flying across the map, 3 vultures in it. A lot of stuff going on right now. Oh, the Wraith catches it and kills it, I think. Yes. Yes, the Wraith saves the dropship. Nice Wraiths from Stardom positioning this spot. And another little attack from Stardom, but Diarrhea Terran is well set up, forcing Stardom back, not able to establish control of that map. And it looks like Diarrhea Terran is finally establishing control over his third base as well. Looking at the minerals, we can see, though, Stardom has mined ever so fractionally more. So just a slightly faster third base from Stardom, who is also just fractionally behind on SCVs. But honestly, who is mining faster could depend on a lot of factors, like how evenly they've saturated their bases between. Here come a few Wraiths. Scan needs to go down. Donating those Wraiths, hard to remember to turn those guys around. And Stardom with the big army again, walking across the map, picking off the mines, trying to come down here. Oh, this is a bad place. Oh, Diarrhea Terran, no, 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 no. Diarrhea Terran making a diarrhea move as he chooses to siege up right beneath Stardom's army that already had the advantage on sieging, and now the third base in trouble if Stardom chooses to siege over here, although it appears he's not going to do that. Now, you can make this brace hard to break to melee units, but you can't make it hard to break to tanks. But is Stardom just going to go for the kill? He's bringing everything down, he's trying to get into that third base, and unfortunately Diarrhea Terran does not have anything sieged on the high ground, so third base shut down for the time being as Stardom fights his way back into a strong position. And it looks like he will eventually clean this up on the back of this Wraith, if nothing else. Trying to inch closer with the tanks, but oh, is he gonna, he needs to pull something to repair. Okay, he's got something there to repair. And bringing more tanks out across the map. Stardom taking a fourth of his own. Stardom now getting into a very strong position, especially with that third gas as well as third base advantage. Way more for Stardom to work with right now, and this game is about to get very hard for Diarrhea Terran, especially if tanks like this continue to... Actually, wait. Is this intentional? This must be intentional. It's kind of weird to see a single tank walking across the map, but hey, stranger things have happened, right? Alright, is Stardom going to go for it? He's got a big army. It's sort of having some difficulty deciding what it wants to do. And it walks around. Okay, here we go. Stardom's trying to get the best angle he can. The tanks were set up a little bit in a line, and now sieging up, and it looks like he's clearing out Diarrhea Terran's army pretty easily. And there it is, GG. Stardom takes it in high speed. Alright. I think we have one more game left. Yeah, because that's a dummy game. So this game is going to be casted at high speed. So, in the top right-hand corner as the purple Terran, we have Diarrhea Terran. And over on the left side as the orange Terran, we have none other than Stardom EMG in a possibly decisive game on Fighting Spirit. I don't know, I think there was actually a third game in this set, and both players going to, of course, get barracks and gas. Pretty typical TVT-type play. And SCV doing a little bit of scouting, moving through the middle for Stardom, who is going to go and get a factory as well from Diarrhea Terran. And Command Center going up for Diarrhea Terran. Stardom has a Vulture coming across the map. Vulture also for Diarrhea Terran as Stardom drops the expansion. First hit for Diarrhea Terran, but Stardom has the Marines there to go ahead and clean that up. Does deny the mining on the Command Center, or the building on the Command Center just a bit, and we can see a Wraith is on the way here for Diarrhea Terran. Stardom is going to go ahead and get an armory, seems to be aware of that. He doesn't have a scanner, so just good sense noticing that Wraith, I think it's Wraith, yeah, Wraith is going to be on the way here very shortly for Diarrhea Terran, and Stardom picking off that barracks. Has a few Goliaths out, so this Wraith should do absolutely nothing other than make a nuisance of itself. We can see a tank has come across, though, with siege, so possibly going for a siege contain. Stardom trying to break it, but does he have enough units? It doesn't look like he does, and that tank is going to get cleaned up there, so kind of even trade for both players. I thought Stardom was pulling units too soon, but it seems like it was okay for him. Wraith is being super pesky. Manages to kill one SCV at its very slow, painful rate of shooting. No cloak, obviously, without the control tower. Now Stardom is kind of sitting in the middle of the map. Diarrhea Terran defensive position. Tank's a little bit awkwardly positioned. There we go. That's a little bit better. Make it a little harder. Of course, Stardom could just swing around from below and eat the tanks one by one, and that looks like maybe what he's thinking of doing, but not at the moment. 8 by 8 TVT, best TVT. Alright, so we got 4 factories here for Stardom. We got 4 factories for Diarrhea Terran. They're just doing the same thing as each other, adding another factory and an armory. Started moving his army around. I don't even know what those flying things were. It's too fast to keep up with at 8 speed, or at 4 speed, or 2 speed, or whatever the hell I'm at right now. It's still too fast. Oh, and look at this. Diarrhea Terran is trying to shut down Stardom from taking a third that way, and Stardom kind of awkwardly walking back into his natural. Maybe I guess he's just going to go for the bust here. Wants to clear this out, be able to take the high ground third. So here he goes. It looks like he's got enough units to do this, and the mine going off, picking up one of the tanks, and Stardom is up, but Wraith shooting away at the tanks. He needs to get a Goliath over here to defend, but I don't think there's even a Goliath out on the map right now. Yeah, there we go. We got a big reinforcement from Stardom. I don't even know what all those units were doing. Maybe it was like a Jadon moment, and he does clean up the Wraith with the reinforcing Goliath. But Diarrhea Terran is trying to put a bunch of units up on the ramp. Can't Stardom get up there? No, his units are awkwardly walking around, derping majorly, trying to force the issue, and it looks like he has just enough muscle to get up here, and then he can get up on the high ground and should be able to push Diarrhea Terran off. But in the meantime, we got a Vulture drop doing a little bit of damage, but not killing a ton of SCVs. Tanks below the ramp. Stardom with a Wraith of his own and a mine, taking care of that last tank. It looks like he will be able to get rid of the army off the high ground, move up onto the high ground for himself. And dropship almost done here for Stardom. Double armories. So what do we got? 1-0 for Stardom. We have 0-0. Okay, so Stardom is ahead on upgrades. Where is that ever important +2? The answer is it is not being made, so neither player is going to have that ability to two-shot with the tanks coming up anytime soon. Stardom grabbing a third base. Diarrhea Terran already has a third base and is getting a 4th and 5th base. Will he be able to hold them? He doesn't have any actual map presence down here, so it would be very easy for Stardom to harass these bases or walk a little bit of stuff down there and cause problems. However, Stardom is not seeming to be wise to those bases right now. Oh, going to be able to catch the SC. Oh, he's not going to go up the ramp, I guess. All right, so we're going to have to pick up the speed a little bit. And more units pouring out. Diarrhea Terran, very defensive setup. It's one thing I would like to see him change is if you're going to play TVT this way, don't just set up outside your own bases. Like, you know, you've got position, you know, take map space, limit where your opponent can go. You can see Stardom is free to walk around to these bottom bases. And now it looks like, oh, all of a sudden, though, Stardom is way out of position. Diarrhea Terran moving hugely into Stardom's natural with a ton of units. Is this a mistake? Can Stardom come back and clean it up? Right now, it's not going good for Stardom at all. There's a ton of tanks across the bridge right now, sieging up, but they are not inefficient at all, and Stardom is reacting in a little bit too much haste. He might be able to defend with a high ground advantage, but these tanks... Actually, Diarrhea Terran suddenly splits apart his tanks in a way that was really inefficient, and actually kind of wastes all those units. Cleared out the natural of Stardom, and for him, honestly, though, if he trades with his position right now, I think he's okay to trade units. He's probably not too worried about that, and you know, especially delaying time from that natural, you know, it's going to be the point where Stardom might be able to trade one more time, maybe 2 more times, but then he's just going to be overwhelmed. And look at this, Diarrhea Terran just popped out one super annoying little pew-pew Wraith. All Stardom's got to do is send a Goliath or 2 over there. Stardom does have this bottom base, but a few tanks walk in, and GG. Diarrhea Terran takes that game. And if I recall from the last game, Stardom 2-facted him and won with Vultures. Diarrhea Terran had a little bit of trouble with mines. And, yeah, that's going to be all for today. So, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.